Hi, I'm John Townsend. Today I got with me Michael Dragoo, and we're doing an experiment today. We're just gonna pull a rabbit out of the hat. Okay, a recipe out of the book that we've never tried before. This one's called pendants. Thanks for joining us today on 18th Century Cooking. So today's recipe is from William Robichaud's The Whole Body of Cookery Dissected. Let me read this one for you. This recipe book is from 1682. It says how to make small pendants to fry for the first course. Take 1 pint of flour, as much grated bread, 8 eggs, cast away the whites, or 5 thereof. Beat it to a thick batter with cream, rose water, sack. Season it with beaten cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and mace. Put to it a handful of parboiled currants and a handful of minced marrow. If not beef suet, add salt, then let your pan be hot with clarified butter or sweet suet. Let it drop in by spoonfuls. When they are fried on both sides, dish them up on the table or plate and scrape on sugar. You may add a handful of sugar to the batter. It's an interesting recipe.
It's what we encounter all the time.
Yeah, you get recipes like this that are they're very vague.
Yes.
And you wonder just what this relates to in a current recipe, a pendant. We looked up pendant, I couldn't find anything.
Nope.
There was no word. It could be a misspelling of pendant.
It's a slang for something. I've read all of the different descriptions for pendant, and nothing involved cooking.
Right.
No.
Right. So we don't know what that. We're gonna not worry about the name then. No. This seems like maybe a sort of a fritter, maybe in that it's kind of deep fat fried, kind of.
When you sent it to me and I was reading through it, it was a cookie until they wouldn't have called it that then, but up until we're boiling it in oil, pretty much. So.
Right, so this is an odd one. So we're just gonna try this guy out, do our very best, and see what it turns out like. So I've got our ingredients here, almost everything. It says it starts out with 1 pint of flour. Okay. And we're just gonna use all-purpose flour. And we're gonna half this recipe, so everything you hear there, we're gonna cut it in half, or else we'll have 500 pendants. As much grated bread. So we've got breadcrumbs here. Again, basically 1 cup.
Yep.
Now it says 8 eggs, cast away the whites. Beat them up and pour those in. What we're trying to achieve here is a thick batter, so the rest of the liquid ingredients we're just gonna kind of guess as we go. There's no exact measurements. Right. We need cream is next. This is a Joe cup of cream. Yep. Hopefully it's about right. If we need more, we'll add more. And rose water. I don't have rose water with me. I do have orange flower water.
Okay.
There you go. That's just a little bit. I don't think we need a lot. That just gives it a fragrance. We need some sack, or we just have regular white wine here, 2 or 3 tablespoons.
Yeah.
We're gonna try that much. So it still looks pretty thick here. We're only just, it's way too thick. So let's keep adding more cream to this. Okay. This is really an experiment. We just have no idea where this is gonna go. So I don't know, where are we at with cream? We got about a pint in here?
Got about a gallon and a half of heavy whipping cream. My arteries are gonna stop, just clog right out.
So now it seems more like a thick batter. Took a lot of cream to get there.
It took about 20 minutes worth of cream. Sneaking up on this.
Let's add the next ingredients. We want cinnamon. We're just gonna kind of guess it here. That's a teaspoon and a half, maybe?
Yep.
Ginger, about the same amount. This is just regular powdered ginger.
It's gonna be good.
Nutmeg and mace. You've got some mace over there.
Got mace right here.
There's some already ground up in there.
Perfect.
Every recipe's got to have nutmeg. Why even bother to cook it if you don't have nutmeg?
This is like a snickerdoodle recipe I did a couple of years ago.
Uh-oh.
Same ingredients.
I don't want to hear about that. Deep fried snickerdoodles. This is going to be great.
I haven't tried that. I like deep fried anything.
A handful of parboiled currants. And what we've got here are Zante currants.
Okay.
And I went ahead and kind of simmered these ahead of time. Yep. Go ahead and take a handful of those. And add a handful of minced marrow, which is not easy to get a hold of these days necessarily, or suet, or beef suet. That's chopped up. So 2 or 3 tablespoons of suet. Again, it doesn't call for a measurement, so this is gonna be kind of totally crazy. And a little bit of salt. At the very end, it says you may add a handful of sugar to the batter.
Yep.
It also says to put sugar on top when you're done. So I think we're gonna wait for the sugar at the end. We'll not put any in the batter.
I would do both.
You would do.
Well, they're gonna burn a little more easily if we put the sugar in the batter.
So let's not do that.
Yeah.
So this is gonna take a little bit of interpretation here.
Yep.
After we have our batter mixed up, it says, then let your pan be hot with clarified butter or sweet suet.
Okay, what's sweet suet?
What she probably means there is fresh rendered suet.
Okay.
So we're gonna take suet and get our pan filled up. And it's hard to tell whether she means to whether he means to deep fat fry these. I think it's just sort of halfway.
Okay.
We're just gonna get a nice thick layer of suet going in the pan. So our pan is good and hot. Let's bring the pieces in here and go ahead and plop in
we'll
a
give it a shot
spoonful.
here.
Hopefully it's not too hot.
Not sure how much to put in.
Well, it says spoonful,
Yeah.
so
There we go.
yeah, the question is, are these pancakes or are they fritters?
Yes.
I don't know. And they are kind of a little bit like halfway between, as far as I
Yeah.
can tell. I don't know. Let's go ahead and I'm going to take some of these out because they look like they're...
I'll just let them drain on the...
Yeah, we'll let them drain on cloth here. Well, here's our experiment. They look very interesting, a little different.
Okay.
Let's give them a try.
You first.
I like it. I haven't decided yet whether it's a pancake or it's a fritter.
It's not as heavy as I thought they were going to be.
No, it's a little lighter.
I like the currants a lot. I don't taste the wine at all.
No, it's not winey. And you could have used grape juice instead of the wine. It doesn't really matter.
That's one of those recipes that you just don't know how it's going to turn out. It's so odd.
Yeah, very interesting, very interesting. Well, you can see what it's like. We dip into a cookbook, you never know quite what you're gonna find. Very, very interesting. 17th century pendants.
Pendants.
I don't even know what that is. Nope. But now we do. Thank you so much for coming along with us as we savor the flavors and the aromas of the 18th century. If you're new to our channel, I want to welcome you. You can subscribe by clicking the button right up here. Also check out our related videos. Thanks so much for watching.